Okay.
Kia ora, and welcome to Neat and Not by the Sea, Flosstube video number
54.
54. It is Thursday, the 20th of July. It has been about 6 weeks since our last confessions. So we apologise for that. Life has gotten very busy. Oh, I'm Victoria. Hi.
Kia ora, my name is Catherine and my pronouns are she, her. And I did 2 recordings in between, but in Spanish. So if you don't speak Spanish... But yeah, we're back.
We are back. Excuse me. So, what have we been doing in the last 6 weeks, Catherine?
Well, I think we should talk about the most important thing that you have done in the last 6 weeks.
Can I say hi, people?
No.
No?
No, that I was not talking about.
Oh. Okay, so
we're in the chat section.
we are in the chat section. I was like, really? That's the most important thing? Okay. So for the last 5, maybe 6 months.
8.
6 months?
8 months. More than 2 weekends.
I have had 2 ovens in my kitchen. One plugged in and mostly working, and the other one just not plugged in.
Okay, so if you're outside of New Zealand, an oven is a cooker.
It's a cooker, yeah. And the second one didn't have an electrical cord to it. The reason I had 2 ovens is because the one that was plugged in and sort of working, the rings on top were a bit dodgy, and I wasn't using the 2 large ones because they didn't reach full heat. And so my boss very kindly gave me his mum's old oven, which does work.
And it was better than yours.
And was better than mine.
When you say
much
old,
better than
it's probably just as newer than yours, probably.
It's second hand was what I meant, as opposed.
Yeah.
It's not a brand new oven. It's second hand.
Yeah.
It's in great nick. But it had come from a house where it had been wired in, so it didn't have a cord. So it wasn't just a very quick, easy pull one out, plug the other in.
They're not supposed to be just plug in. They're supposed to be wired now.
No, not all of them.
Well, that's
Anyway.
what I was told with my last one.
The one in my kitchen currently, I have a plug as opposed to it being hardwired to the house. Anyway, I had been avoiding changing the plugs over because that involves wiring, which I'm always very wary with the electrical stuff.
Oh, come on, be honest. You were avoiding it because all you've done is embroider.
That too. That too.
It's a good reason.
When Catherine was here last week, she was totally shaming me because my oven was in the middle of my kitchen.
No, it wasn't because your cooker was in the middle of the kitchen. It's because it had been there for 8 months.
Yeah, that too. So over the weekend, I rewired the plug, changed the plugs over, cut my hands to ribbons. There was blood and everything. But I have now in my kitchen just one oven because the other one I gave away on Facebook Marketplace. And it works and everything. And my house hasn't burnt down. So yay me.
And Victoria doesn't text very often. But boy, I got a text. Guess what I've done? I'm amazing.
I was. Afterwards, I was very much Iron Woman, hear me roar.
Yeah, that's right.
I did hard things that, electrical and wires. And
Tidied up her sitting room.
did indeed. Tidied up my sitting room because my sitting room was tidy, but I had lots of things.
No, it was not tidy. You can't be tidy, but no, it was very untidy. And I may have not had a poker face about it.
Okay, look, next time my living room is properly untidy, I'll send you a photo and say, Catherine, this is untidy.
Oh no, I have been to your house when it was
I know,
properly
you
untidy.
randomly just turned up. That was so
Yes,
rude.
I'd never done it again. I just turned up unannounced. I was like, oh, hi, Victoria. The horror on Victoria's face.
I know, my house was awful.
Yeah, she is feral, like true fact, like 16-year-old behaviour, just throwing things on the floor. So that was a lesson to me. Don't do that again.
But no food stuff, no mice, no maggots or anything. I just want to say, it's tidy dirt. Just a lot of wet towels everywhere.
In your defence, you don't have a Martin.
I don't have a Martin.
Martin cleans the house. I'm not a house cleaner. I don't believe in it. Martin cleans. He always has. All of our marriage. Even when I was a stay-at-home mum. I'm a great zhuzha and tidier, though.
Good job. You can come zhuzh and tidy at my house.
Anyway, so that's Victoria's great prowess.
That's great. My kitchen's now like twice the size that it was.
That's right. And of course, the cooker was in the walkway.
Oh,
so you have to walk into the kitchen sideways.
Fire it oven. You after sort of 4 months, you just don't see it anymore.
No, she didn't see it anymore. I did, though.
Yes, you pointed it out loudly and vocally. It was great, actually. Gave me the kick up there.
I mean, obviously, I wasn't doing such a great job because it took blooming at least 6 months of me going, oh, it's still here.
Yeah, very oblivious. You have to be very pointed and direct. That's great.
Anyway, so that was great.
That
well
was
done,
great.
you. You're amazing.
I am amazing.
Okay, now.
Truly amazing.
Oh, no, you're going to talk about your thingy later.
Yeah.
I did a prowess thing, which is not really a prowess thing. I went on holiday.
Nice. Oh, you went on holiday during the 6 weeks too, but you talk about your holiday first.
Okay, so I went to Methven, which is a small town. If you're not in New Zealand, it's a small town. It's not far from some ski fields. So we just went there because Martin has discovered that he loves hot springs, which they're really just hot pools. It's like a swimming pool that's hot. It's not like going to Peru and going to hot springs that were made by Incas. It's not like that. But it's still lovely. I really recommend. It's called Opuke. Very lovely. We had a great time. I had a foot and leg massage after. Went to the pub one night.
Oh, nice.
To the Blue Pub, and we watched the rugby. So that was good. So definitely recommend. But yeah, we just went away because we hadn't been away in the camper for a long time. And it was just lovely to get away for 4 days. We did we did some walking, but lots of op shopping and sort of ticket touring. So yeah, it was really lovely. We had a good time.
Excellent. And the camper worked well because this is your new camper, which I don't think you've actually used that much.
No, yeah, we have, but
You haven't had it that long.
yeah, last time I used it was when I went to pick Christina up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true.
So it's still kind of we're still getting used to it. Well,
My oven was in my kitchen for longer than you've had that camper.
I know. But yeah, it was very lovely. We're still getting used to it. It was a great trip because we only ate lunch out once.
Oh, good job.
Yes, and that wasn't kind of like I wasn't going on about it, but going to the hot springs is expensive. Oh my god, shall I share my really gross thing that's grossed everyone out?
Yes, I haven't heard it. So
Have I
yes.
told you?
No.
Oh gosh.
Did you pop something or squeeze something or?
No, ew.
So it can't be that gross.
Oh no, it's really gross. All my friends are like, oh. I was going to the hot springs. I don't have a swimming costume.
Oh, you did tell me this.
And
That
I
is
bought
gross.
a second-hand swimming costume. I was so delighted. I was like beating the world at its own game. So my swimming costume cost me 50 cents. I can't believe I'm telling this to the world. Everybody's grossed out. I washed it. I have a washing machine. It was washed. I look amazing, can I just say? And it cost me 50 cents. And then when I was in the hot springs, I checked how much they cost. The cheapest one was $75. I'm probably going to use my swimming costume in 6 months when we go to another hot springs. Mm-hmm. So it was great.
Well, when you start buying second-hand undies, I don't want to know about it because we'd have to reevaluate our friendship.
I was desperately looking for second-hand vintage underwear just to gross you out. I've got a few friends that need to be grossed out by that. But no, I don't really look for underwear second-hand. But I was looking for hankies today for Martin in the op shops. And they do sell them.
Yeah, they do.
And they tend to be clearly not worn.
Yeah, they're like someone's given someone a packet of hankies.
Someone has received a packet of hankies every Christmas for the last 10 years. When they die, they end up in the op shop. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
So,
because there are a lot of them are granddad hankies on there, aren't they?
Yeah.
With those, yeah.
And we like using hankies rather than disposable cloth one. Tissues. So yeah, he'll just... He did ask me if I would make him some, and I was like, sweetie, no. So that was my prowess, and I did post on Instagram my amazing find.
Excellent.
My banana
Yes.
crates.
They're amazing.
That Martin did not think it was going to be a win, and it was amazing, and my house looks beautiful.
It does look amazing. Has he said that I was wrong and you were right?
No, but we have talked about it incessantly.
Good.
Yeah, he's kind of over it.
Check them out. They're on Catherine's Instagram page.
Yes. NZCat26. Anyway, so that was my little holiday. What about your little holiday?
So my little holiday, I went with my sister and her family and my mother, and we went to the Catlins for the long weekend. It was lovely. It was.
That's your comfort holiday.
It is our
isn't
comfort holiday. Unfortunately, the weather was semi-decent, so I like it when it's raining and stormy and there's just no way you're going outside. I actually had to go outside and do walks. I did lots of stitching. My nephew and niece are really into Red Dwarf, which was something I watched as a teenager, so it was fun
Really?
I like Red Dwarf,
I never watched it, but I recall the program.
Yeah, to watch some Red Dwarf.
The guy with the dreads?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and then we ran out of those DVDs. We had You Rang My Lord, which some of you may or may not know.
Oh, Victoria, for
Was
goodness sake.
It was such a good holiday. And I don't think I bought anything.
You didn't. You were disappointed.
I did, because there is a shop there which I usually go to and will buy something because there's, I'm on a holiday, so it's a holiday budget of
Whatever.
But they were just too expensive and there was nothing that grabbed me.
It has to grab you, right?
It does.
Maybe you've got enough lovely things from that shop now.
Yeah.
Give her a year or two and they'll
Yeah.
get new things.
You show your mug. So their mug, she used to stock this sort of things. This is my hedgehog mug. She didn't even have any of those, and
Well, they've been bought.
yeah.
You can't keep having the same thing. It has to change.
Oh, no, I know.
What
but
does it say inside?
It says, enjoy the little things.
Okay, great. I, on the other hand, did buy a lot on my little holiday.
Good.
I bought 21 second-hand shirts.
Wow. Were they like colours that you
Or
had
quilts.
to find, or?
Well, no, but we'll talk about quilts when we do the quilt section. I don't really go op shopping in my normal life, apart from like today I needed hankies for Martin, so I went to the op shop. I don't really go for fun like I used to, because my house is little and I have too many things. But I have ideas for quilts, so I bought that. But I also did buy 2 shirts that I'm going to show you, which are vintage, probably 1900s. It's very exciting. And I did buy a blouse, which is just going to be for work. But I don't count those in my, like, op shopping extravaganza. And Martin has kept 4 shirts for his own wardrobe, which I
Excellent.
like.
Yeah.
Because then
You'll get them eventually.
I'll get them eventually, yeah.
Yeah. And if you particularly need that colour, you'll get them sooner.
Oh no, there was like, it's just really boring. I watched this woman in the US. She has her her quilting podcast, and I really like her. I'm not sure why, but I do like her. She's got a southern accent. Maybe it's that sing-song. Or she speaks very slowly, which is calming, because I'm not a calm person. But she was saying that southern men wear a lot of pinks.
Really?
Yes, well, you know what? Men in Dunedin are not wearing pink. So all the shirts I buy are variations on blue. Which is
Yeah.
very,
Close.
very monotone. But anyway. So, you did your holiday. I did my holiday.
I fixed my oven.
Because for you, it's been a bigger chunk of time. Has
It
anything
been
else
6
happened?
weeks. Home sweet home, we'll talk about that later. I went up and saw my brother in Waimeti. He and his partner are doing well. They're expecting their first baby, so it's all very exciting. I'm sure I've done other stuff, but it's been 6 weeks, so I've forgotten.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes I toy with the idea of writing things down because, like, I really want to talk about this, and of course, it never happens because that would be planning and all that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so today I'm mostly going to be here as Victoria's support person because I have nothing to show. I did a Flosstube yesterday. There was very little to show. No. Oh no, I do have a finished project that you won't have seen, I don't think. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I think you should start. And
I'll
I think you
start.
should start with your great big excitingness.
All right, we'll do it all because otherwise we could. So, as you're all aware, for the last 6 months, I've been doing Home Sweet Home.
Less than
in
your
the
oven.
effort. Yeah, the oven's been in the oven. Maybe it was 8 to 9 months ago that the oven went in. Anyway, since about March, I have been hardcore on Home Sweet Home to meet the deadline of the 1st of July for the construction class. Did I meet the deadline? Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun, dun.
Yes, I did. I took the Friday off work and I finished it at 9
You
o'clock.
did not tell me that.
I did, yeah. I've had 3 3-day weekends in a row. Except for the last weekend I ended up working the public holiday. But anyway.
Friday.
Yeah.
Matariki.
Yeah, I worked Matari, but I was good.
Well, that's bad.
Anyway, I did. I made it. 9 o'clock on the Friday night before the Saturday class, I finished the last thing. So, what have you not seen since my last? Sorry, I'm just looking at my book. Okay. So, you guys
This
would
is
not
very,
have
very
seen
cute.
the bodkin holder stitching is all finished. Can't even read the yellow pen. I did no stitching that day. It says working late and sick. I was so feeling sorry for myself. Oh, the base is finished, but you won't see that because that's in another bit. The last thing
Should I help? What do you want me to do?
I don't even know. I'm just going to show you a few things. I'm not sure whether you saw that. That's for the cover for the wee cutter.
I'm really worried about the lighting. So if the lighting is rubbish when you watch this,
Can you
it's
let
not
us
our
know?
fault. Our lighting engineer went on holiday.
Yeah. But the last thing I did was the scissor sheath. I think the last bit was those little bits up there. No, it wasn't. It was the central bit. But it's all done.
It looks very, very pretty in real life.
And as you can see in the construction class, we didn't actually get everything constructed.
Anything constructed.
Oh,
We
we got-
started something. We didn't
started
finish
stuff.
anything.
It was just learning techniques. Like
exactly. So you can now,
Like
right?
the sewing class was learning all the stitches and things, but then I spent, 6 months actually sewing it. So what we did in the class was we learnt, well I learnt because I'd never done it before, to lace. And we were lacing, I think that's an inside panel that goes inside the house, and that's another one. But
Dun, dun,
dun, dun. Lacing the outside. Now those two panels are stitched together. I was hoping to have the whole house, the outside bits.
Is it a whip stitch for stitching it together?
Ladder stitch.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. See, so that sits.
I think it's very cute that you spend your days drafting plans for houses and now you're
in my
building a
evenings
house.
sewing houses. Yes. Very, very themed with me. That goes on the inside, and there's a tray that sits on the top that all the bits.
Also, it's double walled insulation.
Oh yes, it's all very, very up with the latest and greatest. And I have also laced on, so there's the one front and side, there's the back,
Oh, the back has no windows.
No.
Does anything have windows?
the front, and
Yes.
one of the side panels.
Uh-huh.
We don't need natural light, it just makes our stuff
Oh,
fade.
yeah. It's a cottage, for goodness sakes.
Exactly.
We're talking 1600s, right?
And this bit that I finished, this here,
Which is very pretty.
that's the base.
I
I
love
even
the
put the
little
wee feet
feet.
on.
I think you have done your name so prettily.
Oh, I know. And I've got to get the whole thing finished because I already put 2023 on the date. I should have made it 2024.
That's okay. That looks
See?
so
2023.
so beautiful.
It's done.
Oh, Victoria, can you please post like single shots of everything on Instagram? Because it'll be better than this.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
I have got photos of everything.
It would be lovely for you to have that record.
It is. Because I do take photos, pretty much to send to you.
Hang on. Can we spare a moment for Catherine the environmentalist? Isn't this a great project box?
This is Barker's. This was I think it was like rep dropping stuff, not a rep, yeah, rep dropping Christmas stuff off at work.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I steal all the cool boxes.
It's basically a shoebox.
Yeah.
And we don't have to go to the shop and buy brand new plastic boxes for our craft.
No,
Shoe boxes or similar will do.
it's nice thick cardboard. It keeps everything very
You've even scored a
safe.
pretty one.
I know, that's why I say.
Oh, is that Barker's, the jam people?
Yeah, like the jam and the dressings.
I went
and
past their factory
Ah.
in Geraldine. I thought it was Barker's, the clothing people.
No, this is the food people. They do pickles
nice.
and chutneys and...
Great op shop in
Jams.
Geraldine, by the way. And I had, because it's only cash, and I had scored a great shirt. And then we saw a great pair of shoes for Martin, because we're skanky and we also buy shoes.
Second-hand shoes, there's no problem with that.
Well, I never look for them because I kind of feel like feet mold themselves to shoes. So they have to be pretty new for me to consider them. And actually the ones I buy for myself are new. They've not been worn. But great sort of moleskin,
Oh, nice.
like short half boot. It looked very nice. And it was $3. So I was like, I'll give up the shirt for $3 because we never carry cash. We were like, what have you got? We're like, the povo is going, what have you got? We gathered together $3 and so we bought that. So if you're in Geraldine, the Red Cross shop, very good.
Next time you go on holiday, you should make sure you've got cash because probably a lot of
I know.
most shops.
There's
have
not a
your
lot,
costs.
but
Yeah.
every so often you do come across someone that just wants cash. So
Anyway, so that's been Home Sweet Home. The construction class
Very
was
good.
lovely. It was a very cold and wet weekend, and it was lovely just to sit around the table with 4 or 5 other ladies and chat. And
but I also think you should
Nice.
talk to people that are feeling like you did
oh, okay.
9 months ago when you were like, I'm a cross stitch person. I just feel comfortable with counted cross stitch, and you now
Yeah.
here you are.
Yeah. So this was my first non-counted cross stitch project I had ever done. When I did the fact. When I did the first class last year, I was very keen and very excited. Loved it. Got it home. Was terrified of it because it was so different.
A really new thing for you that you were going to do
Really
alone
new.
at home.
Yep. And honestly, if the second class date hadn't been set, it probably still would be sitting in a box. But
I might have nagged though.
You might have nagged. I'm absolutely thrilled. If you are keen to try something new, do it. And just force your way to go through the hard bit, because I'm absolutely thrilled. And it's one of these things that I look at it and I'm like, I made that. That's amazing. How did I do that?
I also think, and this will be the same in other people's cities, that if you had started and you'd got stuck, you could have gone to Stitch Witches and said, I'm stuck. Can you just spend 5 minutes with me reminding me what I'm supposed to do? And they would have.
Yeah.
They absolutely would have. So,
And I don't think I brought it in. With this, after this class, I bought the right-handed Stitches Companion Guide or something like that.
That's right,
There's
yeah.
a left-handed one for left-handed and a right-handed one for right-handed. So with this book and the right-handed stitching thing, because this doesn't show you how to do all of the stitches, just the ones it considers to be different or unique. So with the two, I covered everything and it was fantastic.
the other thing as well, which I haven't asked Victoria permission to say, is that if you could see Victoria's work in person, you would see how perfect it is. It is so beautiful. I've got a little campaign to convince her to take an actual course, because I think Victoria would be a great tutor. So if you think Victoria should take a course to become a great tutor, leave a comment. Love you.
Such a bully. No, you do not have my permission. You know. And so, look, don't be intimidated by something. Because looking at this, you'll be like, I could never do that. And it's fantastic.
And although your work is perfect,
It's not
everybody
perfect.
else's work is perfect, and they all look perfect without being exactly the same.
Exactly. Because you,
That's the hand. That's
unless
the
you're
beauty
at
of the
class,
hand.
you're never going to see more than one at a time, like in the same place. And I'm absolutely thrilled with it. I really hope that I keep the mojo going and actually finish everything, because now I've got to put all the bits together. I'm like, oh, this looks a bit hard again.
No, you totally can do it.
But we will. I'm
You
going to
just need a
finish
bit
it.
of time.
And I'm going to buy a nice glass dome, and no one's ever going to touch it.
Yeah, apparently. Although you might be tempted. Once it's all finished, you might be like, this will be for my space. You could use it for your crown. That would be the project that you use to make something else special.
Yes, so that's the crown that I've got. I have to have finished Home Sweet Home before I start the crown. So it's one construction project. So I can... One finished construction project, so I can start a new construction project that I have purchased, so that I can go and buy another 2 construction projects that I've got on my book.
She's got rules. Self-imposed rules.
Oh,
Games we play with ourselves.
well, I could very, very easily and very, very quickly end up buying a lot of stuff that I just won't get to because I want it. I've got to get some of these things finished. So
Yeah, great. Cool. Okay, so cross stitch. Do you have
Cross-stitch.
any FFOs?
yes, because
Oh.
did you not all? No, I haven't got any FFOs.
Do you have any FOs?
No.
Oh, okay. I've got an
You
FO.
got any FO?
But this may be a repetition, because I can't remember. I know Shelley commented, but Shelley watches in Spanish, so she could have watched it in Spanish, so I don't know. I finished this project by La Di Da, and it's called Home.
Beautiful.
It's very cute, so now it's yours.
Yay!
Because you wanted it. But I did my own thing, of course. So I instead of home, I put casa, which means home in Spanish. It also means house, so we had a whole conversation about that. And I changed the colours. The windows are orange and Mike is in blue. And then I've got the roof. And I didn't do the heart because I thought it was a bit too twee. In the sea of tweeness that is my life, I thought that was just too much.
It's beautiful.
And I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's on a high count, a high count linen, but mystery one.
Beautiful.
I think it's actually clothing linen.
It looks like clothing linen.
So
The way it's-
quite a
yeah.
high count. But I really enjoyed it. I could see it okay. So this is lovely. I'm very happy. And I didn't, because I changed the word, the original font wouldn't have worked. So I changed the font. I made up the font. I used that book that I have with all the different motifs.
Yep, the one
But-
by that woman.
It's the red one.
Yep.
But even then, they weren't enough. So what I did, to make them a little bit more substantial, I just put an extra row at the bottom of every letter.
It's beautiful.
Just to make it a little bit bigger. So I'm super thrilled. I do like it a lot.
I think last time you showed it, you'd finished the house, and I think you've since done the border and the
Yeah.
word. It's beautiful,
No,
and the
the
chimneys.
border was first.
Ah, well.
Because apparently that's another rule of mine. So anyway,
Oh.
so yeah, you've got it now, so I can stop worrying about that.
You'll all be thrilled to know that now the pressure is off for sewing of Home Sweet Home. I have done some cross stitching.
Woo!
So back to this one, which we haven't touched for months. So this is Barbara Anna Sailing Dreams. Yeah, Barbara
This
Anna
wasn't a
Sailing
mystery one, was it?
No. Oh, no, it wasn't. I think I just purchased this. She issues releases a lot of them as
That looks so
mysteries.
pretty. That must be a high count. It looks very
Oh,
dinky.
it's 40 counts, and then it's like a dyed 40 count, so obviously it's shrunk.
Nice.
And I've done, what did I do? I did all the bits around the base. I've started up on her hair. It's cute. I'm loving doing things that aren't Home Sweet Home. Even though I've just said it's awesome, and it is.
Oh, you need a break.
It's nice to be doing some other things at the moment. So I'm really pleased with that. It's coming along. I wanted to do something little so I could get a finish, because I haven't had a finish since January. I was looking through my book.
I know you're trapped.
And that's still not even finished.
Almost though.
But it's getting there. Do you have anything else you wanted to show?
Yeah, but nothing stitches. So let's do the stitching.
I'll show my last one. You'll all be thrilled and surprised to know that I have done some more of my pub, which is the Peacock, the Unicorn and the Badger by Scarlet Letter.
I don't think they know about pub.
Oh.
That was a new thing.
Right, because it's called a peacock, a unicorn, a badger, P-U-B is pub.
So that still confuses me when you say pub. Because it's a newish
It's
sort
a
of
newish thing.
Obviously younger than 6 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
It is slightly easier than...
It makes a great shorthand when you're writing in my
Although
book.
I would just say the weird one, which, you know,
Yeah.
that's why we love it.
I have done. I'm quite pleased with the progress I've made on this. So here she is in big.
Is that sideways?
No, that's it. That's the bottom. So
This
since
is way bigger now.
since last time, I filled in the flower, I filled in the branch, I've done a whole pile of a green background so it doesn't get left till last. I have climbed the tree up here. We've taken the branch out. I've done the caterpillar. I've done the flower, the acorns and the leaves and things up there. This is so great. I love this one. If you're at all umming and ahhing about whether to do it or not, do it. It's such an enjoyable stitch.
Great.
That's awesome. But that is all the stitching I have done.
That's loads, considering, you know,
Yeah.
your prowess.
And I think I've been sick since... Was I sick
Oh,
again?
you were sick forever.
Oh, I know. That's great.
In your fancy bag.
Yeah, yeah. But they're reusing again. Something arrived in this.
Yeah, I do the same.
And that is all I've done. But Catherine will be very pleased to know that eventually there will be a quilt for new niece or nephew. Just haven't started it yet. Have decided what I'm doing, but
Yes, so
started.
last time when I came and I convinced Victoria not to film, so I actually got ill the day after. Yeah.
You had to try so hard to convince me not to.
Yeah, that's right. How would you feel about not filming? Okay. Yeah, we spent the evening chatting. Well, we went out for a meal, then we spent the evening chatting, and I was showing Victoria all the amazing quilts that I want to make, and then she showed me the quilt that she's gonna make, and it was very exciting.
It is. It is.
Did you go shopping for the fabric?
No.
Not yet. Because you're doing like mental shopping.
Doing mental shopping, yeah.
Maybe you can look up upholstery fabric at the same time.
Oh, yeah. That'll be a weekend job.
Okay, so what have I done? I've got very little to show.
That's cool.
I have had this idea of a little wall quilt.
Ooh.
And I've said all this in Spanish, you know, if you watch it, it's just repetition. But this is a lovely fabric that I love, that used to be a top, that ended up being very uncomfortable. But I love this green, and I saved it into a special place when I decided to stop wearing it because it was uncomfortable. You know those blouses that ride up and push on your shoulder, on your neck? It was uncomfortable, so I disassembled it. And I knew I wanted to make a wall piece. Well, could I find the green? No, it was in a safe bag, in a safe place in my studio. Anyway, eventually I found it, and this is the piece that I've been mulling over. So I've only just started it. It's 2 speech bubbles in Spanish, and one says, "and your daughters," and the other one says, "in Europe," both of them.
Ooh.
Because that's something, you know, why Catherine is weird, episode 306. it's a line that keeps going around in my head. So if I think about the girls, it's always like I've bumped into a friend and they'll go. And I think more often than not, it's like acquaintances that speak Spanish that ask me about my girls. Because we don't see each other very often. And it's like the stock question. Like, hi, how are you? How's the family? That's what we do in Latin American families. So it's like, oh, how are you and the girls? So it just goes round and round in my head. And then they're in Europe. And I think it's just my brain getting used to the idea that my daughters are such a long way away from me. So anyway, it's therapy to myself. But I want to keep it quite sparse. So I think I'm going to have 2 people here, but they're not necessarily going to be people. It's going to be an interpretation of a human. So I'm toying with the idea. Initially, it was going to be stick people. And then I thought, well, I might just do a stick. And today it occurred to me that I would do a stick with a handbag, because I always carry a handbag. And then I'm going to do the silhouette of a plane. And at some point, I'm going to put a black box with one yellow window to represent my house. And then I'll do the quilt sandwich and I'll quilt it with green thread.
Nice.
So that's kind of invisible. And this is going to live in my sitting room.
Beautiful. You pin it to a wall or something.
Yeah, because I've got to hide yet another switch for the photovoltaic system that was installed by men without any consideration to the aesthetic beauty that is my home. Mm-hmm. So I've hidden most of it behind the arboro cloth, but there's one bit.
It's sticking out. Yep.
Yeah, and I don't like it. Which annoys Martin because he wants to see the switches.
It's such a boy thing, isn't it?
No. So I'm super pleased that I made progress with this.
Beautiful.
Hopefully it'll be done by next time. So that's that. Have you got any other makeys?
That's it. I'm done. I like that, the green fabric.
Oh, I love this green fabric. This I've had for at least 15 years.
Gorgeous.
I love it. It's a vintage sheet. So this is the back of the second quilt that I have to sandwich. So that's a bed sheet.
Beautiful.
This is a pillowcase.
Beautiful.
That's an organic bed sheet from India, which it seems incredible to me. This is a vintage bed sheet, which I love. And then this one, which I don't know if I mentioned, is another bed sheet.
Gorgeous.
So I like, I don't know what you do with your bags, but I like to piece my bags. I don't like to have just one whole sheet.
I must admit, I tend to use a lot of, because we have fitted bottom sheets, I eventually rip holes into my bottom sheets, and so I just end up using the leftover top sheet. So I have had full
white ones?
Yeah, generally.
Oh, see, I don't really like white backs, and I don't like single back. I find it quite boring. I think it's like a missed opportunity for creativity.
It wasn't until I met you that I even thought that you could, I always thought it just has to be one solid colour.
Yeah.
But no, my next one will be piecemeal together. It's gorgeous.
And it's also more economical if you're going shopping.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy one big length. And sometimes, because quilters are cautious, you buy extra. If you go to the shops, you buy extra.
Always.
Well, you can piece your extra bits and make a bag.
Lovely.
And it is nice. Well, I talk about my family of quilts, so I really like that. This fabric will be in another quilt as well, and they can all talk to each other. So very happy with this. And then I have been doing quite a bit of...
If you're still filming, just hang on. You're looking at my ceiling.
It's a commercial break.
Now you're looking at my carpet.
Oh, that was great.
Right, let's get you sorted.
Oh. That was a bit dramatic. It's not tidy where we film.
No, it's
How about that?
close enough.
Scoot. I'm just going to show you that I've made loads of progress. Look at the texture. Can you see the texture? There's
Oh, it's
tons
gorgeous.
of lines. It's
yeah.
just less than a centimetre from one to the other. And it's just a continuous line. And what I've started to do in some bits... Oh, see, I'll show you here.
Oh, excuse me.
Can you help me hold it there? For example, here, I've started to do... So this is one bit of fabric, and then there is another bit of fabric here. Well, what I've done with the stitching is I go like this, and then I go up. And so it creates this, and then it goes down and round. And so it creates this continuous thing where the two bits become as one area. So I'm really happy.
It's beautiful.
Mostly, I've just gone around the edges of all the different colours, and I have to go back and then
fill in the bits.
Fill in bits. I have made one mistake where I was like, oh, okay, my personality does not approve. Don't do that again, Catherine. It was where, this is the bit where it makes me laugh. Because I think I'm
inside.
Yeah. Because I think I'm super creative. And like, oh, I'm such a free spirit. Not a free spirit. Oh, here it is. It's all right.
You got it?
Yeah. So I don't know if you can see it. Here I have lines going up and down. I'm happy with that. But here I just went freestyle. I am so uncomfortable by this. So I'm going to unpick it. Although now that I look at it, I quite like it.
I like it.
Oh, I don't know now. Maybe I've got used to it.
Finish the rest of it and then come back to it.
Yeah. So anyway, can I... Oh yes, so don't be like me.
What are we
Be
doing?
like proper people. So I'm just showing the back now.
Ah.
So this is another piece back. So this is a bed sheet. And these were some Indian tops that I'd bought in the second-hand shop and I'd shown you. And Nithya had said what these tops were called. So that was great. And this was one of Martin's shirts that I bought second-hand and then he gave it back. But I'd made the back too short because I don't measure. I can't be bothered. So then I had to sew on a strip when everything was sandwiched. I was like, why do I make my life hard?
Oh,
So anyway, sorry.
was this the Indian sheet?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Indian shirt.
Shirt.
Yeah. But what I love is you can see here, you can see all the lines from the folds of the shirt.
It's beautiful.
It's not different colors. It's not different pieces of fabric. It's just probably a
It's worn.
sleeve.
Yeah.
You know how you have the folds on the shirt? So it was short sleeves. So I love it. This is one of my favorite fabrics
It's beautiful.
at the moment. So anyway, I'm really happy and I love it so much now. The beauty of hiding something for 6 months and now I love it. And I wasn't so keen on it at the beginning. So anyway, that's from my daughter-in-law. I hope she feels comfortable to say no to me. I keep giving her furniture that we can't have anymore and she always says yes.
Surely she would.
Oh, at her age, I wouldn't have. I would have said thank you.
Oh.
But I hope she can be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've got a pattern to show you, and I've got a book to show you, and I've got these shirts. Anyway, these are the vintage shirts that I bought in that second-hand shop. So if you're going ticket touring, which is traveling around in New Zealand, there is a shop between Geraldine and Methven, and it's a very small town that starts with an M. And I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a 5-shop second-hand shop.
Yep.
It's like it's called Overflow because it overflows.
Nice.
So if you Google Overflow near Methven, it'll come up. There are 2 overflows in New Zealand apparently. So anyway, these are like bib men's shirts, like from the period dramas, and I love them.
It would have been laced down the front.
No, it would have had buttons.
Or like little
Like
cufflink
cufflinks,
things. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very happy with this. This one just has normal cuffs, which are still great. But this
What
one,
doesn't?
oh, sorry,
I just wanted to stick out the tag seed.
made in England.
No starch, iron flat, while very damp.
Yeah. So this one I love. Again, it's very similar. This one does have a collar. The other one's a granddad collar. This one does have a collar. It still has the bib. Oh, there's lipstick on my shirt now, I'm sure. That has the bib, but what I love, and I wear these for work, by the way, the massive cuffs. So what I tend to do is I wear a shirt like this and I don't do the cuffs up. And it all looks like some sort of, in my head, I'm super stylish.
Nice. So
What
this
are you-
one has got little buttonholes around
Yeah,
the
because
collar.
the collar would be
But it's
attached.
buttoned on, yeah.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah. Probably a cardboard collar, like in
So-
the olden days.
I haven't listened to anything that you were just talking about.
Okay.
Are you going to stitch
doesn't
on these
matter.
and wear them?
Yes, so I'm going to wear them anyway, but I want to stitch them. So I use them as a blank canvas and
Yeah.
make...
How will you do it? Will you run a...
What?
How will you tie them up? Will you get some cufflinks? We
Oh.
can get you some awesome cufflinks.
No. What I was thinking of doing was...
Or
I
wearing
do
them as an open
have...
shirt. Sorry.
I do have some cufflinks that there was kind of no need to keep, but I have kept. So I might use those, although they are kind of a light color, so I'm not so keen. But you can basically create your own cufflinks by attaching one button to another button with like pearl cotton or something. So I might do that. I haven't decided, but I think I'm going to go and do some sort of narrative embroidery like I normally do. Lots of words.
Mr. Darcy jumping into a lake.
Some abstracts. Yeah, I'm so over him.
Ugh, never.
So yeah, really good cotton. And these were super good value because they were $20 each, which sounds like a lot for a second-hand shop. But if I was going to buy a white shirt of this quality in the shops now, it would be a lot more. It would be more like $100 at least, I reckon.
Because I mean, I'm assuming it's cotton. It feels like cotton
It
to
is
me.
cotton, yeah.
It's a lovely heavy weight, unlike the stuff that you buy in the shops now,
Yeah.
which you have to wear a singlet under.
See, the thing, if I was going to buy a white shirt like this, I would be going to Country Road, and it will be at least 100, if not more.
Yeah.
And you still have no guarantees that it's made in an ethical way. I mean, God, no guarantees here either. But at least it's second hand. So that's that.
Fantastic.
Oh, I forgot to show you my knitting. See, loads of things. I think I was stressed the last few days and I was just doing things other than stitching. Stitching just felt overwhelming. It's bizarre because it's not overwhelming at all. But yeah, this is the shawl that I'm making for my friend. And it's almost done.
How dare you have friends that aren't me?
I know, right? She's only half joking. I've got about this much. So not even my full span of hand. I've got about this much to go from here to here.
How long would that take you if you did nothing but, like, if your normal crafting allotment time was all spent on that? Like, if
Well, I tend not to just do knitting because this is getting heavy now. So, but I plan to finish it by Sunday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, if I just did this for a week, then it would be done. But no, apparently you're doing 2 days.
No, because it's only Friday. Like I'm going back to work on the bus, so I knit for an hour. My life's really hard.
Oh,
It's okay.
if you're on public transport, you poor thing.
It's okay. Actually, it's so funny.
It's doubled in price.
Such a Dunedin problem.
I know.
My bus driver used to work for the university.
Oh my goodness.
He got fed up because he never managed to get a permanent job. He's actually an accountant. Only in New Zealand. He's actually an accountant, but he now works as a bus driver and he's very happy.
I was going to say, he's enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I bumped into him like 2-3 years ago when he was bus driver and he was like, oh, this is really great. I'm so happy I left the university instead of battling. And so it's just really weird now that he's my bus driver because there must be allocated routes. So he takes me. But he's twigged which is my house, so my bus picks me up and drops me off where there isn't a bus stop.
Nice.
It's just people are nice.
Yeah.
So they pick us up and drop us off. But now he's twigged that my house is just like 20 meters further away than when he's been dropping me off. So yesterday it was almost at my bridge.
Lovely.
I was like, thank you.
Does he come down that road there?
Beach Street.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
God,
amazing.
you could just stand at the end of your footpath, the end of your
Literally,
bridge,
yeah.
like in the school bus.
I know, but it is at 7:20. Oh my God. Okay. Is there anyone out there who's got a retired husband and they're still working? I woke up naturally at 6:30 this morning. Then I stayed in bed for another 10 minutes. Martin woke up at 9:20. Naturally, he was really tired. 9:20, I tell you.
Wow.
He made up for it and cleaned the house.
Good
But
man.
I know. I'm really
It's the
happy for
extra
him.
energy he's got from sleeping in.
But I was like, oh, I don't sleep till 9:20. So anyway, I'm really thrilled with this.
It's beautiful.
I've actually run out of colours now. So I haven't run out of colours.
Well, have you not got? You've got repeats in there.
Yeah. But I've run out.
Oh, run out
This
of
is
wool. Yeah, this is your last bit of wool.
No. I've got more wool, but this is the last bit of coloured wool.
Okay.
I've just got 2 little balls of beige now.
Oh.
So I think I'm gonna get another one of my orange and blues that I hand spun, and use that.
Nice.
But I didn't want. I was trying to use leftovers, but I'll just use that and it'll finish and it'll be great. So, yay for gifts for friends.
Nice.
Yes, I'm excited about this.
And it sounds like it's cleared a whole pile of your leftovers.
Well, yes and no. There's always more. There are no full hanks. I was very careful not to take full things. I was just taking little bits. So I did that.
Excellent.
Please be patient. We're almost done. Things
Hey,
have gone.
this is a short one for us. Plus, they had a trip.
That's right. Oh, yes. Did I talk about this?
No.
I don't think I did. I think it arrived and I talked about it in Spanish and then that was it. This is a book called The Techniques of Indian Embroidery by Anne Morel. It is so lovely. I'm so happy.
Are you
It's
all
got some great things.
Are you inspired about the things that you might want to look at purchasing?
Oh
while
no,
you're over there?
I have a list. Don't you worry. I haven't come across anything new. It's,
You would rock that, Sharon.
yeah, but they probably wouldn't have it my size. But the things at the beginning are just so beautiful. I mean, look at that. This is Kanta quilts. I just realized, you know what my daughter-in-law's parents sent when they got married was actually a Kanta quilt for me, but a beautifully made with imagery.
Yeah.
It's just because it was from a brand new shop. I didn't realize at the time, but that's what it is. It's just not made from recycled materials. It's like brand new, expenny.
Wow.
I should feel very honored. Look at this pulkari. Beautiful. So pulkari tend to be made for gifts, hand-me-downs to brides. Very beautiful. Oh, another thing. I don't think I've even told you. I sent my fabric and threads to the British artist.
Yeah, fantastic that you're commissioning a work from.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So I'm very excited. Very excited about that.
Do you know when you'll get it back?
No.
Excellent.
She has a daughter that she has to look after.
Yeah.
She has 2 children, but she's a full-time carer for one of her daughters, and I was like, you've got commitments.
Yeah.
Just whenever would be great.
Do you know if it's arrived safely yet, or is it still in transit?
I don't. But it was just so lovely. I wrote her a lovely card
Lovely.
by John Robinson. It was just so lovely to pen a card as opposed to write an email.
Nice.
It was great. I loved it. So I was happy to do that. I got my book. I've recommended. I do recommend that book. So if you're interested in like expanding your textile/embroidery collection of books, it's really great. There are no there's like 3 pages of techniques. So it's not the book to get for techniques, but it's the book to get for a bit of background history, some illustrations. But I still think it's great and worth having. And then I don't think I've recorded since I did my Zoom
No.
dye talk. So I did my Zoom dye talk. It was fabulous. I was basically allowed to talk for an hour about something I love,
Nice.
with people saying lovely things to me. It was great. Of course, I didn't do a great job of advertising and stuff, but I think we did do some fundraising for Nithya, so that was really great. And hopefully people will give it a try, because, you know, natural dyeing's not hard. The only hard bit within the world of natural dyeing is indigo and woad. That is an art form that takes time to get good at. But natural dyeing, with all the other things, that's just like cooking. It's like if you can boil something, you can dye something. So I'm saying I'm not that special. It's actually quite accessible. So, but it was really great. It was a very small group. I think there was 5 people. More had signed up, but obviously life had happened and they hadn't come. But it was great. I had a great time. But I was tired. All these plans that I make, like fantastical ideas, and then you're exhausted after. I think I went to bed straight after. It was great. So anyway, the reason I mentioned the Zoom dye thing is because Mariam from Marumi Crafts attended. And then I just, so that was really great because I hadn't actually spoken to her. I watched her Flosstube, but I hadn't chatted with her. But then in her subsequent Flosstube, she was talking about a giveaway. So I wrote to say that I'd be interested in the giveaway. So when she does giveaways, she tends to do for internationals just a download of one of her patterns. But for people in the US, she will say, pick from these. Like she normally has some that she will post. Anyway, so I sent that. And then she very kindly asked me for my email, and I hadn't won. She sent me one. She said, which one would you like? And she just sent it to me as a thank you.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Or just to be kind. I know. It's an Afshan sampler. So apparently, and I love this, this would be a sampler of all the different motifs that you could have in a carpet.
Oh,
and so people
that's
could say to
amazing.
people, oh, you could do this, and you could go, well, okay, I want this border, and I want that border, and I don't want this one, can you skip that?
Yeah.
And you would like build your own rug.
Nice.
So I thought that was quite beautiful. So it's on my list of things to do. And I think they have got a stitch along. It might be hashtag Afshan Sampler. Anyway, go and watch her. She's really interesting. She's a psychologist. I'm always really impressed by people that have these careers that are quite different to mine. It's like, oh, how did you think of doing that? You know?
Nice.
I was never very purposeful in my career choices. So anyway, it's really lovely. She has lots of other designs, and it's really weird because she does these designs that are, they're kind of like weird animals. And Nithya's making a little sampler of all of, like, I think there's 7, she's making it out of 6. They look amazing. But then when I was looking at the website to try and pick some, I just couldn't pick. So this seemed like a better option. So I'm happy with that. So that was that. And also I don't think I talked about these.
You talked to me about them, but not
here. So this is the quilt segment. In fact, what did you say to me the other day? I think we should give up the pretense that this is a Flosstube.
It's just a crafty thing, people. A crafty chat.
Crafty chats. I have become entirely consumed by quilts. I think what happened is I said out loud, I don't think I'm going to make big quilts anymore.
You did. You said, I'm done with the big quilts. I haven't got room for them.
So I have 7 bags where I'm setting up the next 7 quilts I'm going to make. 3 of which are for Moses basket size. But the rest aren't. But a lovely thing has happened.
Ooh.
I have become a different human. And I said to one of my very good friends, Sally, I said, would you like me to make you a quilt? And she was thrilled because she's not crafty.
That is very kind of
I
you.
know.
That is very kind because a lot of effort goes into those.
I know, and the thing is, it's all handmade. Like, all of it. So we had a chat about it. And my friend, as is often the case with friendships, she's very different to me. Her house is not shabby chic. There are no banana crates in her sitting room. She has,
Beautiful banana crates.
yeah, but it's not like that. So she's really different to me. She's a considered human. She's not like, oh my God, which is me. I'm the oh my God of the relationship. And so I said to her, would you like me to make you a quilt? And she was like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, I'd like to do that because I love to quilt and I have enough quilts. And I actually said to her, would you like me to teach you? So I think I'm going to teach her as well. But anyway, we talked about it. Then I went home and I was like, oh my God, she's going to expect me to do this particular type of quilt and I will die. I can't. So we've compromised. It's going to be a green and cream quilt. She's picked a design which is quite traditional, it's the Ohio Star. But the greens are going to be a range of greens.
Yes.
And the creams are going to be a range of creams. And I can live with that. And then she can as well. Like, it's not so wild.
It's a little bit outside of her comfort zone, but not so wild as actually,
Yeah, and it means that I can survive the,
You're going to
the
do
operation.
the experience. Yeah.
So doing that. And then my sister, I've been talking quite a bit with my sister recently. The one that lives in Europe. All my sisters live in Europe, but I have a good relationship with my sister that lives in Windsor. And she hasn't seen my kids since they were 4 and 2.
Wow.
Or just under 5 and 3. Because when we came to New Zealand, she actually came to visit us within a couple of months. She was with us for about 3 weeks, a month. And she hasn't seen them since, but she's such a loving aunt, even from afar. Like, she doesn't talk to them much at all. She follows them on Instagram. But, you know, she always asks after them and stuff. Anyway, she's being so lovely. She's invited Christina to go to France with her.
Lovely.
So they're going to go to Strasbourg, and she's picking her up in Paris, and they're going to spend a night in Paris so that Christina can get a glimpse of Paris.
Strasbourg's not in Paris, is it?
It's in France. Yes. It used to be Germany.
I was going to say, the Sound of Music history tells me that is...
God, Victoria. Martin's been, he says it's stunning. So my sister
Gorgeous.
lives there. So, and then she's going back to Windsor with her, and it's just like, she's being so lovely. And she's been, you know, she's made lovely plans for Sophia as well. And it's just so lovely. And I thought, you know what? My sister is so busy. She has one of those intense jobs. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to make her a quilt. She doesn't know. She doesn't watch this either. And I said to Martin, I'm going to make
Too
her a
busy going to
quilt.
Paris.
She doesn't have time to take time off, but she's taking time off to be with Christina.
Love, that's so kind.
I know, it's super
On
lovely.
both you making her a quilt, which
I know.
assume is the...
So I thought what I would make her, because I don't think she's bothered about having a quilt on her bed. I thought I'd make her a quilt for her sofa.
Beautiful. Yep.
She can snuggle up.
Beautiful.
And I thought, I did not go on about these, but I have discovered these quilts. And oh my God, I kind of went crazy. These are free downloads from a company called Tilda. So you can go online, and what they do now is the patterns are free. They've got, you might be interested, they've got lots of different quilt ones. These are the most out there. The rest are quite classical, I think. But they also have cuddly toys. Soft toys that you can, patchwork soft toys. Really lovely. So anyway, I downloaded them. And so I don't need 2 quilts like this. So I'm going to make one for me, one for my sister.
Beautiful. Make them both, choose which one you like best and send the other.
Oh no, I will make mine for my bed. Because
they're beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it's the colourway, but I particularly love this one. I think I like the dark background.
but I was thinking I've got enough of the same background colour. I'll probably use the same colour for both of them.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, just because I bought,
Beautiful.
probably 10 years ago, I bought enough fabric to make myself a Victorian dress.
Oh, and I mean, I
For
know...
me and for the girls. For Oamaru, for the Victorian Festival. I made the dresses for the girls. I never got around to making mine. So I've got all that fabric.
Presumably these are free, I can show this.
Yes.
So, that's the pattern. I'm not sure if you can see, it's all gridded up. And then there's the corresponding colours, but obviously you'll substitute for whatever you're doing.
Yeah. But these are sort of pixelated flowers.
Yeah.
It's like just squares. Super
So they're 2-inch squares.
straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah, so amazing. But I don't know what's happened. So I have become slightly overwhelmed by my desire to quilt. So I've got 7 bags lined up for all the different quilts that I'm going to make, including I've ordered a Dear Jane book.
Dun, dun, dun.
Do you know about the Dear Jane book?
Only because you explained it to me last week.
Okay. It's a ridiculous pattern. I don't think I'm going to make the Dear Jane quilt. I'm not, you know, I don't like following patterns particularly, but I'm going to be inspired by that. So I've got that. I've got the Farmer's Wife book, and I've been looking at Jen Kingwell. Is it Jen Kingwell patterns? So between all of those, I'm quite inspired. I'm going to do things. So it is ridiculous. I don't need all these quilts, but you know, maybe making them will be enough. And it's all handmade. It's all hand stitched. It's going to take forever. So that's, you know, it'll eat up time. It'll be all right.
She'll have them done by February next year.
I know. I'm not silly enough to promise a free meal though.
It's a great meal.
Yeah. So this weekend I had plans for. I tried to only have plans for one day at the weekend because I get very tired. My Saturday plans got cancelled.
Oh, I love it when plans get cancelled.
What was that thing? After 40, one of our biggest joys is cancelled plans.
Oh, well, I'm
Are you
not quite
40
40
yet?
No, and I love a cancelled plan.
Yeah. It gets more intense, Victoria. It's just the best thing. So Martin will go out Saturday afternoon. He goes to footy. So all of Saturday and all of Sunday, I'm going to be cutting fabric.
Lovely. Making a real mess. Good job.
Well, hopefully not, but I'm very excited about it. But then I thought if I do, because really I want to make 800 quilts, but I can't make 800 quilts. That's ridiculous. So that's why I want to do a Dear Jane style thing. Because, for example, I love the pineapple pattern.
Yep.
But normally I would make a whole quilt in the pineapple pattern. I don't have to. I can just go, I'm going to make a square with the pineapple pattern. That's enough. And eventually I'll have enough squares to make up into a quilt.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, like me last week, the Dear Jane quilt is a quilt that's just made up of, I don't know, a couple of hundred different styles of patches for your patchwork.
So if you Google Dear Jane, it was made by a woman called Jane Frizzell. I think that's how you say her name. During the Civil War in the US. She had a not necessarily happy life. She seems to have been bedbound for a time, unwell. The war was going on, and I think because she was bedbound, she thought she would do the quilt because she spent a lot of time in bed, and so she wanted to do something. So I don't know what ailed her. The quilt is in a museum in America. I want to say Pennsylvania, could be wrong, but they only display it for a couple of months a year, or maybe even possibly a couple of weekends a year. So it's in incredibly good condition. And a woman discovered it in a book 30 years ago, and she became so besotted with it. She actually wrote all the patterns. So she did the diagrams for every pattern that was in there. Then they've discovered that there are no duplications and a lot of them are unique. She must have had quite a mathematical mind, because a lot of them are quite geometrical. So yes, so there's a whole thing now. You know, you can buy, there's a software program, you know, you can now buy rulers for the Dear Jane quilts. I've just ordered the book that was the 25th anniversary edition of the original book. So I'm quite excited. I mean, I like books anyway to inspire me, so I don't feel too bad about it. But also, I just think it's a really good way, because sometimes you just want to try out a pattern. You're like, oh, I'm really interested in this style. Like my friend's quilt is going to be Ohio Star. Well, she wants an Ohio Star, so that's what she's going to get. But if I was attracted to the Ohio Star, I didn't need to make a whole quilt. It would just be like 2 blocks.
Yeah. Or you just want to try something to see how how hard is it to do?
Oh yeah, you won't do it again if it's hard. But the other thing that I really love about the Dear Jane is that the squares are really tiny, and sometimes they have like 20 pieces for a block this size.
Oh, I didn't realise they were that size.
Yeah. So amazing. Loads of opportunity to kind of play. And I've come across one person that was stitching it by hand. So you can see some tutorials online. Most people do it by machine. I don't think they realise how much harder it is to do things like that by machine. When it's little, hand is easiest.
Yeah, you can do lots of little
and
little wee tweaks in there.
Yeah, and then I came across one woman, and that was her first quilt.
Oh my goodness, good on her.
Yeah, because she hadn't realised. Like, her friend said, oh, do you want to learn to quilt? Come to this class with me. But in a way, perfect.
Perfect,
Because
you've done it all.
so much support.
Yeah.
So, baptism of fire.
Yeah.
So do you have the name of the quilt that you're going to make? Can you remember?
It is a half square triangle quilt, and the pattern is called
That's how you
Supernova.
spell. Oh, great.
It's a supernova pattern. So
Did you have to buy it, or was it a freebie?
As freebie online somewhere. I can't tell you where because
quite
it's on my
striking.
phone, which we're filming on.
It's really striking.
It's really
though.
pretty. So the example one is white and orange, and because it's a baby quilt, we will not be doing white.
Oh, good. Right, okay.
So I haven't chosen the colours yet, but we'll get there. So hopefully you will have quilts coming from me for once.
Yeah. Great. So yeah, that's it. There's going to be a lot of quilt content because that's just what is
Where
calling
we're
me
at.
at the moment. But I'm not stopping the cross stitch. I've got all my... I'm going to get them lined up as well. I have been spending a lot of time reading as well because I've got my reading group coming up and I was a bit slack and I've still got about 200 pages to read.
Is it a bit of a slog? I hate it when books are a bit of a slog.
No, the book is compelling. It is horrific and compelling. It's Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. So it's almost 600 pages of the horrors of the economic situation and all that sort of thing in Appalachia. And I think it's set in the current time. Well, current-ish, anyway. So it's really interesting. I didn't know enough about it, but there's a lot, it's about, orphan kids, foster care. Yeah, it's just hard work. But really great. She's an amazing writer, so really interesting. And I don't know enough about Appalachia, so that's kind of interesting. Although it always strikes me as a bit sad when you find out all the bad things about a place. So anyway, so yes, be tempted. Zeb, I'm looking at you. This is not hard. These are little squares sewn together.
2-inch squares, it's 5.1 centimetres.
Literally, you cannot find an easier quilt to get started with. It's just squares. But the nice thing about it as well is they've done it in a grid. So you do this block first. So in this block, you're basically putting together all the blues with maybe 20 colours. So you get all your confidence by doing this block, and then you move to the next block. And once you've got your 3 top blocks, you could join those 3 together, and then you work on your next 3, then you join them together, then you work on your next 3, then you join them together, and then you join this to this to this.
And you just do it line by line, right? You do line 1, you do line 2, you join line 1 to 2.
It's almost paint by numbers.
Yeah, it really is. Awesome. These are cool. I was looking for my phone so I could take a photo of the fact that it was tilted, but like I said, we're filming on my phone.
I've got it on my Instagram.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I just, when I saw them, they're just pixelated. Amazing. And it's of course because I fell down the rabbit hole. I've been looking for a quilty. I really would like to find just the right quilt podcast for me. And it's a bit hit and miss. There isn't another Catherine out there doing similar things to me.
You are too unique.
But I'm piecing them together. Like I get this little bit from this one and that little bit from this one. And sometimes I watch them just so that I can enjoy shopping vicariously.
Nice.
Oh my God, the other thing I did I tell you this?
No, I don't know.
So I've gone down the rabbit hole of because one of my things that I do at home, and it's now over an hour, sorry.
I thought we were going to be 45 minutes, folks.
No. I'm always saying to Martin, I'm such a cheap date. You're so lucky, because I'm a crafter, and I do it so cheaply. I could be spending a ton of money doing this.
I hope you told Martin, do you know how much Victoria spent on this thing?
Oh, this is like our second biggest topic of conversation. But always to make me sound good. Anyway, for fun,
yeah,
I went to check how much some of these kits cost.
Oh yes, we did have this conversation.
Oh, I could not. I just don't. I would have to earn 3 times what I earned before I felt I could buy one of those kits.
Oh.
It was like $500 US.
See, and I'm looking at some kits around that price range, not quilting, but in embroidery ones. And I'm like, I just won't have food for 2 weeks. We'll be fine.
I can't close my mouth. Like I don't have it in me. I've got a camper that did not cost $2. I just could not.
It's a lot.
And the thing is, right, because you watch these programs, and I'm on to me. Like, I know I watch them as well because it's fun to watch them, and I bought this. And then it gets to the point where it's like, all right, too much now. But they don't just buy one kit.
Yeah, I also understand how that happens.
Yeah, see, it's interesting. I don't live in that world. So for me, it's like, and then I go and tell Martin, I'm great. I'm cheap. I've always been a cheap date. 50-cent swimsuit.
So gross.
Anyway.
Have a great fortnight.
Yes, we will be back in a fortnight with some cross stitch.
Yeah. Maybe
Have fun. Make sure you make some progress. Comment if you think Victoria should do a course. She'd love that.
It's great. Try something new that you haven't done before.
Yeah.
It's great.
And let me know if you've bought a second-hand cozy.
Yeah.
Nobody has. All right. Kakite.
Bye.